Happy New Year, everybody. This is Brian Briscoe with the Diary of an Apartment Investor podcast. Today, I'm going to tell you about the new direction the podcast is going starting now in 2024. I'm going to announce 8 new changes that we're implementing this year, and I really want to know what you think. So in the show notes, we'll have a link to a quick questionnaire for you to share your opinion to help how we can make this show better. Now, before announcing the changes, I want to give you a little bit of background on the podcast, what we've done so far. So I started this podcast in 2020 during the COVID lockdowns, and coincidentally, so did a million other people. And what I really wanted to do is make the podcast stand out. Now, if you listen to the podcast for a while, you've noticed the format is unique. I've brought 2 guests on most episodes and have included an aspiring investor, which to my knowledge, nobody else does on the multifamily podcast circuit. Now, between July 1st, 2020, when we dropped the first couple of episodes, and December 31st, 2023, I've recorded and released 462 episodes and have gotten almost 300,000 downloads. Now, quick math, that's an average of approximately 600 downloads per episode. So very, very proud of those numbers. Now, going a little bit more into the numbers, the best month ever for downloads had almost that many downloads per day. So, almost 500 listeners per day on the podcast. So it's something like I said, I'm very proud of, and I never really imagined would happen when I actually started the podcast. So end of the day, I chose this format because I wanted the listeners to actually be part of the podcast. The people for whom this podcast was intended can actually come on the podcast. All right. Now, I've stuck to that format for 462 episodes over 3.5 years. And honestly, I got a little bored with it. It's definitely time for a change, which is why I took almost a 2-month break from recording any new episodes. Now, that's where we started. That's where we've come. And now here's what's going to be new about the podcast. Most noticeably, I'm getting rid of the 2 guests per episode format, which we called the Ask the Expert series. It was difficult to coordinate, and quite frankly, for the aspiring investors, well, they weren't sharing much of the spotlight. They were pretty much sitting in the background the whole time and getting a very, very small moment in the sun. It was a great opportunity for them, but I think we can do better. All right. Now, that said, I'm introducing a new series, which is going to be called My Journey So Far. And we're going to bring on aspiring investors on the show and do normal one-on-one interviews. So similar to the old Ask the Expert episodes, the aspiring investors will have a chance to ask questions. Just I'll be the one answering them. Now, next change we're going to do is we're going to have similar one-to-one episodes with experienced investors and bring them on in a more familiar interview format. Now, you're also going to see new episode art. Right now the episode art has this starry background and, some weird looking text in the top of my head. The new episode art's going to have, my whole head, which is coincidentally something that I kind of wanted from the beginning, but, I had partners that designed it and they ended up winning out on that one. So next thing we're going to be doing is I'm going to be spending more time and money on the videos. We're going to do better quality videos, and we're going to be releasing a lot more shorts and reels on Instagram and YouTube. All right. Now, number 6, I guess I haven't been numbering up to now, but yeah, here it is. This is the 6th one. We're getting rid of the musical intro that, I listen to podcasts too. And, when I get to the intros that are the canned intros that have been the same, and incidentally, my intro has been, I think I changed it once when I left 4 Oaks just to remove that from the intro completely. So, I haven't really changed that at all in at least 1.5 years. So we're just going to get rid of that canned musical intro and just go straight into the podcast, because I know most people just hit the fast forward button anyway, or the plus 15 or 30 seconds or whatever it is. All right, next thing we'll be doing is I'm bringing in a much wider array of guests. Up until now, it's only been people that were actively investing in apartments and people who wanted to actively invest in apartments. Okay, now I'm going to open my doors to the many professionals that are out there to make our job easier. Brokers, lenders, general contractors, cost segregation folks, attorneys, you name it. We're going to have anybody who's involved with multifamily investing from a third party standpoint or a supporting standpoint also come on the podcast. All right. Now, last but not least, I'm still going to be doing these 8 to 10 minute episodes that I've been calling multifamily briefs, but I am going to talk more about what I'm doing. I started coaching aspiring investors in 2023, and a few of them have mentioned to me that the most valuable calls that we've had are the ones where I talk about what I am doing, that day, that week, that month, because it gives them kind of a behind the scenes look at what's going on. Now, obviously, they're only going to be a couple minutes a week, so you're not going to get the full behind the scenes picture like the people in my coaching program. But, if you want that, you can always just join the coaching program. So anyway, I think these changes will make the podcast more beneficial for the person that it was designed for, and that is the aspiring investor. And I can't wait for you guys to hear more. So, later this week, we'll be putting out some more episodes. And the goal and the rhythm from now on is going to be 2 per week. We will be doing what we call the Throwback Thursday episode, where we bring one from the vaults and bring it back up to the forefront for people to listen to it, again. So that said, I hope you enjoy the changes. Once again, we got a form in the show notes that's going to ask you what you think about them, just to see if everybody's on board with the direction we're going, or if there's any other changes we could potentially make. All right. And wow, what I didn't think of is, how do I close every episode? I don't know. Well, maybe we'll figure that out next time, but that's it for now, and we'll just see you next time. Hey, if you like that episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But more importantly, if you haven't joined our multifamily educational community, the Tribe of Titans, yet, you are missing out. So get yourself 30 days free by clicking the link below in the description, or go to thetribeoftitans.info, and we'll see you there.